1200 Films podcast, all horror, all the time. Chuckloaf, running the ship. That feed spot thing I mentioned in the last episode about ranking the top horror podcasts. Apparently that's a scam. They want you to sign up for all their extra garbage, and if you do, then they'll rank you. I bet they will. So, screw them. So, I added a couple movies onto this episode because we got a lot of movies to get through by the end of the year. So, I added Antebellum, Relic, and the Russell Crowe road rage movie, Unhinged, to this episode. And we have a movie in this batch that has the most disturbing, gross, dry-heaving ending of all time that I've ever seen in my whole life. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But let's get going. All these films but one are from 2020. Let's get that one out of the way first. From 2010, Rare Exports. Critic rating 90%, audience score of 70. This is a foreign horror Christmas movie. Yes. It is, I think it's set in Russia. Somewhere over there. Anyway, Poland maybe? I don't know. There's a lot of white people and it's cold, so wherever that is. So they're this little village, and nearby there's this big mountain, and they're blowing up this big mountain to dig for whatever. And they unearth this ancient evil Santa Claus. Yep, and you can guess kind of where it kind of goes from there, but you probably wouldn't. It's pretty weird. Then this little boy in the town here has to kind of save Christmas by stopping the evil Santa Clauses. It's unforgettable, but it is bizarre. I'd say check it out. Put it on the watch list if you're in the mood for a holiday horror that you haven't seen. Rare Exports. Go for it. All right. 2020 films. Let's get going on those. First one is Boo! Exclamation point, not Medea, obviously. This is about an interracial family. Oh, the ratings, excuse me. I'm getting ahead of myself. There's no critic rating, audience score of 14%. So this interracial family, they get this little thing on their doorstep around Halloween time, which is called a boo. It's a little sack, and it says if you don't give this to two other people, then you'll be cursed. Kind of like a chain letter, but in physical form, you know. Remember those? Do they still do those? I think I've seen a few of those on Facebook, where if you don't share it with 10 people, then whatever. Well, the super religious father in this family decides to tear it up and says, this is garbage, we're not going to do this. So, of course, they get cursed, and that's where the movie goes. So they're spend the rest of the film fighting this curse because they tore up a paper baggie that says boo on it. Can't quite recommend. Next one. 2020, The Dinner Party. Critic rating 38%, audience score of 81. Oh my god, if you get invited to a dinner party or any kind of party or anything where you don't know where the hell you're going or who you're going with or what's going on, you probably shouldn't go. Just saying. Throwing that out there. But this couple decides to go, and that's where it starts. The first half is very different from the second half of the film, and I think the second half of the film struggles mightily to keep it afloat. I could say it's barely okay if desperate. It was on good track, but then it fell apart. So, yeah, that's where I put it. Next one, 2020, To Your Last Death. To Your Last Death. Audience score is 67%, audience score of 95. If you're big into anime and you get hard on that stuff, then go for it. But It's a cartoon horror where basically the gods are replaying certain scenarios again and again, and sometimes when they replay it, they tweak certain things to see how it'll turn out, and they gamble on it. Yeah, that's what this is. And it's, of course, over the top, uber violent and crazy, and not for me. Can't quite recommend. But hey, it's 95%, so some people like it, I guess. Next one, 2020 Amulet. I can't say the words today. Amulet. Amulet. Critic rating 70%, audience score of 42. This is ranked 36 on Rotten Tomatoes top horror films of 2020. They just updated their list, and they removed Uncle Peckerhead from the list entirely because they had to have at least 20 critic reviews, and that one's only got like 12. It's like, where's Uncle Peckerhead? It's not on there anymore. Doesn't qualify. But it will still be in my top 10, don't worry. But Amulet, here we go. This another foreign film, but it's in English, I think. I remember correctly. This soldier, this Russian soldier maybe? I don't know. Again, white people, and it's cold. So this is a soldier. He's had some weird interaction with this woman, and then he was out digging around and found this amulet, and then he's with this weird nun who pushes him off on this woman to go to live with a woman, and the woman is caring for this crazy lady who lives in the attic, who you find out is got a lot of things going on. It's kind of weird, but it's kind of a slow build, but it's okay. It's all right. Okay if desperate. It's definitely weird. The bats living in the water was a turnoff, but moving on. 2020, Don't Let Them In. No critic rating, audience score of 33. This has been done so many times. This was just one I randomly found on Amazon and pushed play. And, it's nothing new. It's people stuck in a building and they can't get out because there's people out there trying to kill them for whatever reason. There's not much of an explanation. They're just hooded people. If they try to leave, bad things happen. Don't know what much else to say about that. But I guess it's fine. It's okay if desperate. It's next one, 2020, open 24 hours. Critic rating 40%, audience score 41. I was scrolling through the vlog, the horror movie podcast show. God bless those guys. Those guys are great. But on the vlog there, the viewers were talking about different movies that they hadn't seen or just seen and were really enjoyed and are recommending that other people see them for 2020, you know. And there was a couple that were really high on this film, and I don't know why. This chick who was recently in a very abusive relationship with her crazy maniacal boyfriend who is locked away in prison. Shortly thereafter, and she wants to get a job. So she gets a job at the creepiest off-the-road marketplace by herself at third shift. Isn't there any other jobs you could have done that don't involve being isolated in the middle of nowhere at dark? But nope, she takes the job. So every little creak and crack she hears in the night, she thinks it's, someone trying to attack her. It builds and builds, and it's fine. It's okay. I'm not going to say it's a must-watch. It's okay if desperate. Moving on. This is a Hulu one. Hulu Into the Dark. The Current Occupant. Nothing on Rotten Tomatoes about it because they don't consider it a movie. IMDb has it as a 5.3 out of 10. This stars Barry Watson, who, if you were around in the 90s, remember this TV show called Seventh Heaven, a Christian-based weekly episodic show about a family. And Barry Watson was the older brother, and then he did a really great horror movie called Boogeyman back in the early 2000s. And now he's back in 2020 with this one, and boy, is he looking old. Wow. He aged as bad as Mark Hamill. But anyway, he's in this loony bin, and he thinks he's the president. And he says, I'm the president, get me out of here. The orderly in this movie is played by Marvin Jones III, who stole the show. He's obviously albino, and he has this Lawrence Fishburne type voice, and he's trying to keep everything under control. And he's the main character of this show. He's the one to watch. But overall, the film was just okay if desperate. It's time killer, as most Hulu movies are. Next one, we'll get to the big ones here. We got Antebellum. Critic rating, 28%. Audience score, 54. People are divided on this one. You love it or you hate it. I kind of fell in the middle. It's fine. Good idea, good premise. And I can't really explain it without giving away everything, so I'm kind of limited to what I can say about it. But I rented it out of a Redbox, and I was too lazy to get up and take it out and plug in my Roku back in, so I just started watching the special features. And they worked really hard to lay a lot of little Easter eggs, a lot of little clues into stuff that I never went way over my head the first time I watched it. It's like, you really have to watch this movie with a magnifying glass to pick up on these little tiny clues. But they were all in there. And the movie kind of jumps around in timeline. It's like, what's going on? Is this before or after? Is this a dream? What is this? Then it all comes together and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. But once you get it, you're either happy or mad or disappointed. But it's worth a watch, I guess. Put it on the watch list. I guess it's worth a viewing. It's no Invisible Man, but it's Antebellum. Next one, 2020, Relic. Critic rating, 91%. Audience score, 48. This is ranked number 10th on Rotten Tomatoes, top films, horror films. This lady and her two younger children, they show up once the lady, his grandmother, the elder woman, has gone missing for days and days. So the kids show up to come look for her, and the older lady just randomly pops up doing the dishes. Like, where have you been for days and days and days and days? And why are you all dirty? Where have you been? There's obviously something going on with this house, too. But it unravels that there's a lot going on with a lot of things. And this is the film that had the most disturbing, gross ending. Just thinking about it gets me dry heaves. They were sitting on the bed. I can't. No. Don't eat before or during this film, and keep a bucket nearby just in case. Words can't describe. I could deal with blood and pus and vomit and other bodily fluids, but this one, woo! Took it to another level. Relic. Put it on the watch list just for the ending. The rest is okay too. But then we got Unhinged, the Russell Crowe movie. Critic rating 48%, audience score 77. Russell Crowe has lost his mind and explains the first couple minutes how and why, and which is nice to know. But then he's just driving around apparently, and the cops are looking for him, and then he has this traffic interaction with this woman and with her kid driving in the back seat. Decides he is going to make her life as miserable as humanly possible. He is going to go out of his way to make this woman have a bad day that she'll never forget. And that's Unhinged. And boy, he accomplished his goal in many ways. But it's good to see Russell Crowe. He has completely let himself go as far as weight. As we all are, as we get older, the pounds kind of come on. But he is not the gladiator anymore. He's a middle-aged man. But he still was brilliant in this movie. Check it out. Put it on the watch list. Unhinged. Now, finally, after all those films, we can get to our feature review of Run.
I'm your mom. It's my job to take care of you when you need me. And you need me. Are you okay, Mom? Of course I'm okay. I have you.
We got Run, a Hulu original film, and probably by far the best movie Hulu's ever made. I can't think of anything that compares to this. Run. Critic rating 91%, audience score of 76. Sarah Paulson from the horror movie American Horror Story. That's what she's from. She plays a mother, and the daughter has a lot of needs. She's had a rough birth and is paralyzed and has all these rashes and all these other problems. But she's very intelligent girl. And she gets great grades and is applying to all these colleges. And none of them are responding, and she starts wondering, is my mom keeping these from me? Is my mom involved somehow in kind of sabotaging my... And then she thinks, what else could my mom be sabotaging in my life? And it turns into quite the little suspense. Mom is not so great, but it's fascinating. It's your edge of the seat, bite your nails thriller about this paralyzed girl. Yes, wow. Don't know what much else to say. The girl, whatever her name is, I should probably look it up, but she was excellent. And Sarah Paulson was, as always, is excellent. So yeah, put this on top of the watch list immediately. Run. This will definitely be in the top 10 for horror films of 2020. This will be up there. Yes. So that's all I've got for this episode. On the next one, we might do 8 films. We might do another 12. We'll see. But the movies we will be covering is more 2020 films. I believe they're all 2020 films. I mean, it looks like it, probably, maybe, I don't know. I think they all look like 2020 films. Yes, they are all 2020 films. The movies we'll be covering is Porno. That's what it's called, I swear. And one called All the Wrong Friends. The Owners. Smiley Face Killers. Anything for Jackson. The number 1 rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes horror movies of the year, His House. We'll be covering that. A Netflix docu-series or docu-episode of True Life missing thing called Lost Girls. And then another Netflix one called Ghosts of War, which has the kid from the Giver movie, which didn't make any money. So he's now doing Netflix movies. So that's all I've got for now. Until next time.